Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the IWillAim podcast. Our topic for today is Beyond the Pain, a journey from tragedy to advocacy with Shilpa Kulkarni. Let me introduce Shilpa. Shilpa is a career mom who has successfully balanced multiple roles throughout her career. While working full time in IT on Wall Street, she also ran and sold multiple franchise business over a span of 10 years. A mother of two children, just 18 months apart in age, she considered partnering parenting as her most fulfilling and cherished role. Currently, she works as a program manager in an insurance company and co-founded a nonprofit named Shiv Third Eye in memory of her son, whom they lost to mental health to suicide back in July of 2021. Welcome, Shilpa.
Thank you. Thank you, Will.
Shilpa, can you start by telling us about your son, his passion, his personality, and the light that he brought to your life?
Sure. Thank you. So, Shiv, our son, he was an incredible soul. He was kind, talented, very bright. He was our miracle baby, actually born after 12 miscarriages. And from the moment he arrived, he brought immense joy in our lives. He was an athlete, he was an artist, a musician, and an academic star. He was motivated to excel through hard work in everything he tried, whether it was table tennis, playing beautiful music on piano, creating artwork, playing volleyball, or participating in national debate tournaments. But above all, he was really very warm. His kindness and his amazing sense of humor was really, really something. His typical brotherly love towards his sister, that is what kind of made him truly special. He had a way of making people feel valued, even when he silently was really struggling his own battles. So Shiv's light was really undeniable, even within the 14 years that he was around. And though we lost him too soon, his spirit continues to inspire us in everything that we do for in his name.
Thank you for sharing all the great things that I've done, and like you said, in spite of going through some personal challenges, he still continued to shine his light on other people.
Yeah, totally.
When did you realize that your son was struggling? And what are some of the challenges he faced at school?
So, looking back about his struggles, I think the signs were probably there, but at the time, we were not able to recognize them. Um, Shiv also was always a high achiever. He was excelling in academics, sports, music, debate. So it was hard to imagine that he was really struggling internally. Plus, we ourselves were never really exposed to any of the mental health issues or struggles within our social circle or even within our family. So in October of 2020, when he had just turned 14 during the height of pandemic, everything was online, and I think that isolation took a toll on him, and I was accidentally outed to me. And instead of giving him the space to process all of his struggles in his own way, I immediately asked him, "Are you gay?" And his response was one of tears. My next question was, "Why are you crying? Do you want to talk to someone?" Because honestly, my husband and we had no idea how to help him navigate what he was feeling. At the time, we thought that we were doing the right thing, being a concerned parent, trying to be there for him in the only way that we knew how. But with the world shut down and a complete lack of guidance, we didn't even know a single family in our social circle who had sought therapy for their child. It took us over more than a month just to find an online therapist. And once we found one, we thought that that was it. That's it. Like few sessions he would go, and it would help him ease his anxiety or clear his confusion. And that was really our lack of understanding. What made it even harder to recognize was that throughout all of this, Shiv never had any trouble keeping up or even excelling at school. So, whatever we were actually reading online, it said, oh, maybe their grades have gone down. Maybe they are behaving like this. And that's when you feel they have a mental health struggle. But none of those, none of that was really obvious with Shiv. So, being online, it also probably made it easier for him to hide his struggles. But at the same time, the isolation and lack of personal in person support made everything so much harder for him. We didn't realize that this was more than just a moment of distress or confusion, and there was a serious mental health issue at play. One thing led to another, and just 2 months later, in January of 2021, Shiv ended up in a psychiatric hospital where he was diagnosed with major depressive disorder. And that was the beginning of our roller coaster ride, our painful, eye opening introduction to the world of youth mental health.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing the story. As a parents, how do you navigate supporting your son? Because like you said, there's places where you read, but none of them actually reflected the symptoms and the things that exhibit. How do you better support your son? And also how do you help discover and identify his identity? What challenges did you face in this journey that you want to share with other people? This video is sponsored by BetterHelp. As spring approaches, I've noticed that my anxiety tends to increase during this time. The longer days and the pressure to be more active can be overwhelming. I often find myself asking questions like, why do I feel anxious every time they don't text me back? And why do all our conversations turn into argument? Those thoughts can be consuming, making it challenging to enjoy the season's renewal. It's during this time that seeking support becomes essential. That's where BetterHelp comes in. They can connect you with a therapist to help you navigate this feeling. The majority of BetterHelp members seek support for anxiety, and 69% report improved anxiety symptoms after 6 weeks of therapy. Getting started is simple. Fill out a questionnaire and be matched with a therapist in as little as a couple of days. If it's not the right fit, you can switch therapists at no extra cost. With 7,000 reviews and a 4.3-star rating on Trusted Pilot, it's a platform you can trust. Let BetterHelp help you rule your anxiety so it doesn't rule you. Click on the link below in the description or go to betterhelp.com/willlukang and get 10% off your first month of therapy.
Absolutely. So I'll probably speak about what we did, like what happened
Yeah.
after that, right? And then eventually we can speak about what could have been done, and this would have, should have
Yeah.
is constantly with us. So it took us, once this happened, it took us some time to really truly understand what was happening between Shiv's mental health crisis and his struggles with his LGBTQ identity. It was very difficult for us to separate the two and provide the right support in the most effective way. His mental health struggles were so severe that the mental health treatment needed to be an immediate focus. At the same time, his identity journey was very closely tied with it. So, for the first 3 months, which was from January onwards, end of January onwards, actually, we were completely focused on stabilizing his mental health. Once we felt like and that happened through different psychiatrists, psychologists. We tried few other alternative therapists as well, but that was just as a supporting thing. But
Mm.
main stuff was actually psychiatrists, psychologists, the medication, and talk therapy, CBT, DBT kind of therapies. Those are different kinds of therapies. So that's what we did. But once we felt we had a handle on the crisis at hand, which is what we thought, which wasn't exactly true, but that's what we thought, we started searching for two kinds of support for his LGBTQ, sort of struggle or identity struggle, if I may say. So, one was the mentorship and peer support groups for Shiv. And then the second thing that we tried to seek for was the support groups for us as parents, so we could learn from others' experiences. We found an organization called High Tops out of Princeton, but their youth group was really wrapping up for the school year, so that was of no use to Shiv. For ourselves, we connected with Desi Rainbow Parents and Mama Bears group on Facebook, where we could finally hear from other families who had walked a similar path. We also tried to introduce Shiv to older LGBTQ South Asian or Asian professionals, because we thought if he saw somebody who is ahead of him in the journey and who has a successful life, then he himself could feel hopeful for himself. And we just wanted to show him that being gay is not going to stop him from leading a successful, fulfilling life or a career for that matter. We connected him and took him to meet with some Asian LGBTQ folks in different stages of life. Someone who is starting the medical school, someone finishing their residency, another who had earned a PhD from a prestigious university and had built a successful business as well as family life. Hoping to give him a safe and affirming space and connections, we also enrolled him in an Odyssey teen camp, which was like a summer camp for couple of weeks. It was advertised that it was a LGBTQ affirming camp. Unfortunately, it turned out to be a wrong fit for Shiv. The camp lacked the resources and structure needed to truly support him. There was not a single Asian or South Asian kid in there, and that lack of diversity, even within LGBTQ community, really made it harder for him because he got sort of bullied or discriminated. Anyway, we within 3 days we just had to bring him home. All of these efforts took place between, say, May and July, and throughout that time, we were really learning, picking up bits of information wherever we could, and trying to piece together the best way to support him. It was I would say it was a very challenging journey, one where we constantly questioned whether we were really making the right choices. But at the heart of it, we just wanted him to know, irrespective of whatever it is, whoever he is, he was loved, accepted, and never alone. And we just hope that he got that message really deeply.
Thank you for sharing that story. Can you share with us what you believe school and community can do better to support the LGBTQ youth and prevent bullying? This is a very important topic.
It is a very important topic, especially today's day and age with the current stuff that is happening in our country right now. Um, I know personally a lot of LGBTQ kids and parents are very anxious, um, and rightfully so. I believe that supporting LGBTQ plus youth and preventing bullying requires a very collaborative effort between schools, parents, and the broader community. It starts with education, awareness, and most importantly, creating an environment where all children should feel safe and accepted. Research actually does show that children can start recognizing their gender identity at a very young age, even if they don't fully understand the complications or the implications. they do understand something. Similarly, the sexual orientation often begins to take shape in the preteen and tween years, just as heterosexual kids might experience innocent crushes around the age of 10 or 12. Like, I know personally a lot of parents, we talk about, oh, do you have a crush, or is this your boyfriend, girlfriend? Like, in, late elementary school, that's the same time when LGBTQ kids, those feelings are very natural and instinctive. So, irrespective of whoever they are, they start feeling that the same way. And when, if they grow up in an environment when they where they are told that their feelings are unnatural or wrong, or whether by parents, schools, or their community, they internalize the shame, and that shame can lead to a deeper mental health struggle, including depression, anxiety, and even suicide ideation. This is why LGBTQ youth are at a significant higher risk of mental health challenges. It's not because being LGBTQ, I mean, I have heard so many people speaking out of lack of education. Oh, LGBTQ kids are, it's a mental health issue. It is not a mental health issue. It is how we treat them, or how we bring the shame and stigma around their own natural feelings, that we almost push them towards that issue, so to break this cycle, we need to focus on education awareness for all adults in the child's lives: teachers, school staff, parents, and community leaders. Schools, they definitely play a crucial role in setting the tone for inclusion. They must actively implement policies that support LGBTQ students, provide access to affirming resources, and ensure that bullying and discrimination, they are not tolerated at all. As parents, we have a big responsibility as well. And especially, I can probably speak to you about it, that especially in our community, being Asian, we do not have that exposure, and we think about it as Western concept or something different. It doesn't exist in our community, and those kind of comments can be very detrimental to those kids, to our kids, or their friends as well. So how we talk these topics at home, whether positively or negatively, shapes our kids' mindset and influences how they treat themselves as well as their peers. Our words and attitudes can directly impact on an LGBTQ child in their school or friend circle. Creating an accepting environment at home teaches children empathy, kindness, and respect, making a significant difference in the well being of their minority friends. At the same time, normalization within the broader community is the key. When the children see LGBTQ identities being accepted as a natural part of the society, they gain the confidence to discover who they are in their own time without fear or shame. The goal should be to create a world where no child feels the need to hide or suppress who they are, where they can simply grow, learn, and thrive like any other child.
I think I think you mentioned the key word really is acceptance. I think creating an environment of acceptance and understanding. I think often people sort of use their fear to deflect stuff, and I think that's probably a big reason why we need to be more focused and more aware now. And thank you for sharing all the ways that we actually as parents, especially if we have no experience, how we should not dismiss things often because we don't know any better, and we learn from the past, and the past didn't really give us that experience, and therefore we think that it wasn't a right thing, but that's something that we as parents now, especially people who are listening to this episode, that you need to ask yourself, if you don't know much about it, you gotta seek other source of information. Reach out to people who know more about it before you react to certain things. Can you share a little bit more about the initiative that you created called Shiv Third Eye?
Sure. So Shiv's Third Eye is really, we started, as I said, like, we obviously had, as a family, we had this huge life-changing event in our life. We, all of us, we coped in different ways, but we came together as a family in starting this organization called Shiv's Third Eye. Here we are together to talk about, we are working on education and awareness for youth mental health and wellness, and LGBTQ allyship. Through our story, we are trying to really, spread the awareness as much as possible. um, I don't think I consider myself as an expert or anything, but I just wish that I had heard about experiences like this before Shiv. I would have been, I mean, we are very good with soaking up information and learning from it. But if we just don't have the information, if we don't talk about it, how are we ever going to think that that is a possibility for our family as well? If you think about it, Shiv was probably one of the last person ever anybody would have thought that anything can happen to him. And that was a big shock to us, to our community, to everybody. So that's why we have taken up the awareness campaign very seriously. um, our organization, we have started two major events, which is, one is the pride picnic that is coming up every year in June. It's more like family oriented celebration, music, dance. But most importantly, there is a portion where the teens actually share their experiences um, of being who they are. And those experiences are, completely, I think they are just mind blowing. Like, first time when I heard about some child talking about their struggle or their identity being obvious to them, and how their journey was, how they grew out of it, um, it was very, very hard, as well as very, very eye opening. And I don't think we as parents ever get to really listen to that. Like, how many teenagers come and talk to us and tell us their own, what is in their mind. And that's, I think there is a huge value in that, being a normal, bringing normalization within our community. So that's our pride picnic. And then we also have youth mental wellness fair in fall, wherein we bring in all kinds of providers, psychologists, psychiatrists, and many alternative therapists, as well as many different organizations which are active in with resources, whether it is the youth mental health or wellness related, or LGBTQ support, or any of this. And most of these organizations, I don't think we were aware of them. These are all free organizations, and that's why we wanted to bring those together. So we bring in about 40 plus tables, and then there are panels. And so it's a very, very impactful event in the fall. Plus, we also have started 2 years since we have started an essay competition for middle school as well as high school all across New Jersey, um, to just for the kids to get a platform to talk about mental health. And that to us is very important. Like, the kids should have a platform to really um, express what they are feeling as well, because that can be one of the ways to bring awareness, and even us as parents getting educated. And this essay competition is, first year we had about 8 or 10 schools participating. This year we had about 26 or 28 school districts participating. across New Jersey. So we are hoping that we will continue to grow it further. We have a Facebook group of with Shiv's Third Eye as the group, where we have a lot of providers and the parents come with the questions, and other parents or providers answer those questions. They can ask anonymously, of course. So that's one another resource. And we do a lot of speaking engagements or anything else, any other for advocacy work that we need to do at the state level as well. I'm quite involved in that. So we just try different ways to bring, Shiv's, honor Shiv's memory somehow.
You for everything that you're doing. You are making a difference to the kids that are going through it right now and in the future. Even parents that are new parents that are going to be facing the situation, at least they have somewhere to go to, they have a community to speak to, and they have someone to hear, what they're going through, and be able to to calm them their mind too, and not cause them to panic. So thank you for everything that you're doing to making the people that are able to support and cope with the challenges that LGBTQ community are facing. And I really appreciate the work that you're doing. If you have a message that you want to share to other parents who might be struggling to understand and accept their children's LGBTQ identity, what's that message that you want to share with them?
Hmm. Um, so if you are a parent of a younger child, especially, take the time to learn about LGBTQ identities. You don't have to have a LGBTQ child to really understand and talk about LGBTQ kids. And that's one thing that I wish we did early on. And for parents or preteens or teens, remember that if your child is LGBTQ, it's their reality. Dismissing it with statements like we don't believe that, or you are too young to know, or even worse, for some, I mentioned it earlier, like because I have heard this from South Asian folks, that this is a Western concept, it doesn't exist in our community. It just, by saying these things, if you think that you are going to take them away or move them away, you're wrong. Like, they are just going to, you are just making them feel unsupported and unable to be
Hmm.
themselves around you. um at some level, it took me some time to really understand that my child is going to be whoever they are, irrespective of whatever I do. So my role as a parent is really help them explore. And I know I have heard from a lot of parents saying, "Oh, this is a new fad, or this is a new times where some one day the child is saying they are gay, another day they are saying trans." I have heard this, but the fact that the child is saying some of this stuff is because they are really confused. They themselves do not know. So it's not our role to just say, Stop that, this is all stupidity, don't do this, it doesn't exist." Instead, it is our role to just let them be and let them explore in the most safest environment you can do. And I am proud to say that these things have changed, at least within my immediate community. I know a mom whom I was able to guide her child, who is now in seventh grade, and he himself came out himself to his parents, and they are able to manage him. And that's what we really want. We want these kids to feel like it's not the end of the world for them. It is, they still have a lot of stuff to live for. They have a great future, and this is just one aspect of their life. So I would just say, even if you don't fully understand, your love for your child is everything. Pretty much every parent loves their child, and by doing this, by saying or not accepting, you are just showing them that your love is really conditional, and that should not be. you just have to make them realize that they are still the same beautiful, kind person that they always have been, and they need to know that your love is unwavering.
You're going to be there for them no matter
Exactly.
what the situation.
They need the safe space. So
Yep,
that safe space is you and nobody else.
true, 100%. Your advocacy or support network since your son's passing, can you share what your vision for Shiv Third Eye going forward? What do you see that you want to do uh, to this particular initiative that your family started?
Absolutely. Thank you. So our vision for Shiv's Third Eye is very simple, but simple to say it or understand it, but it's very complex to achieve it. We really would like a world where children understand the importance of mental well-being as much as physical well-being, where they feel confident in accepting whoever they are, and they thrive in a stigma-free society about mental illness and or their sexual or gender identity. We hope for objective treatment options. So this is one very difficult area, because all said and done, even though mental illness or mental health disorders are real health issues, they are not very well understood,
Mm,
including by doctors, believe it or not. So the psychiatry is one specialization which only the psychiatrist understand, but the other doctors don't even really get exposure much during their medical school to the psychiatry. I mean,
mm,
maybe things
mm,
have changed right now, but I have spoken to many doctors who are already practicing doctors. They said they never had psychiatry as a subject, so they themselves do not understand it. And the treatment options are very, very difficult. They are antiquated. They are almost like 40 years behind, because of, so it's all a circle, vicious circle really, because the society and the stigma around it doesn't accept mental health as
mm,
one of the real disease. It becomes harder to get the funding for it from private individuals or even from others. And because of that, the research in this area is very, very, it has fallen far, far behind. In our case, for example, Shiv had something called treatment resistant depression. We did not know about it till he passed away. We got to know about it after his passing, and that should not be so.
yeah.
Which other disease you get to know what the disease was after somebody has died? And that to us is, so we really want to make a difference in the treatment options and the research area as well, if possible.
Mm. Thank you for sharing that. What do you want your son's legacy to be, and how can other people help honor his memory by helping and participating in the community?
Yeah, we hope Shiv's legacy is like exactly how he was. That is, that legacy would be one of kindness, compassion, and unwavering support for others, especially those struggling with mental health and or their LGBTQ identities. Whether in elementary school or in middle school, Shiv was always there for those who needed a friend, even while he was silently struggling his own battles. His legacy is about making the world a kinder place, one where everyone feels accepted
Mm,
and understood, no matter their struggles. To honor Shiv's memory, we hope others will help make a difference by spreading awareness about mental health and LGBTQ allyship, by understanding, by taking time to really understand, and by continuing to advocate for these causes and breaking the stigma. We hope that we will keep Shiv spirit alive.
thank you. Before we close the episode, I want you to let my audience know uh, how could they connect with you? How might they be able to to contribute to your cause if they need it, if they want to, or more importantly, if they want to reach out to you to have a conversation or invite you to speak at their event.
Absolutely. Thank you. So our website is shivsthirdeye.org. Maybe we can put those out, the details. They can definitely, if they send an email through the website, it will directly come to us. On the website, there is a donate button. If you guys feel like you can support us, it would really be appreciated. They can always contact me. That email, phone number, it all comes to me directly. I am always available. I know that I have been told that you should not be so available, but seriously, I am always available for any questions or any help that they need. I would strongly suggest parents to actually join the Facebook group Shiv's Third Eye, because there is a lot of information in there, and if somebody's child is struggling, they can actually ask questions actively, and there are many people who are ready to help them.
Thank you, Shilpa, for your time today. I really appreciate you sharing that challenging journey and turning a life challenging experience into advocacy for other people too. In a way, you honor Shiv's legacy. Really appreciate you sharing your experience. I know how hard it is to do this, but you actually step up and actually here right now. I'm sure a lot of people that will be hearing this particular episode will be learning about you and will reach out to you. So really want to thank you for your time and your family and wishing you continued success in what you're doing because you make an impact in this world. Thank you.
Thank you, Will. Thank you for this opportunity. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.